In a small village nestled in the mountains of Japan, there lived a wise Zen master named Haruto. His tranquil temple was a place of refuge and learning, attracting people from far and wide who sought wisdom and peace. Among them was a young man named Satoshi, who was plagued by uncontrollable anger. He had heard of Master Haruto's reputation for helping people find inner calm and hoped to find a cure for his rage. One crisp autumn morning, Satoshi arrived at the temple, his mind racing with frustration and his heart heavy with the burden of his anger. He climbed the stone steps leading to the temple, surrounded by the rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of birds. Upon reaching the top, he saw Master Haruto sitting calmly by a small pond, meditating. "Master Haruto," Satoshi called out, bowing deeply, "I am consumed by anger. It destroys my peace and affects everyone around me. Please, teach me how to rid myself of this anger." Haruto opened his eyes and gazed at Satoshi with a gentle smile. "Anger is like a raging fire," he said. "It burns within and consumes everything in its path. To extinguish this fire, you must understand its nature and learn to control it." Satoshi nodded, though he was unsure of how to begin. Haruto instructed him to stay at the temple for a while, participate in the daily routines, and observe the monks as they went about their peaceful lives. Satoshi agreed, hoping that the serene environment would help him find answers. Days passed, and Satoshi grew increasingly impatient. Despite the calm surroundings, his anger would flare up at the slightest provocation. One evening, Haruto approached him and said, "Tomorrow, we will begin a special exercise. Meet me at dawn by the river." The next morning, as the first light of day touched the horizon, Satoshi found Haruto standing by the riverbank, holding a large, empty sack. Haruto handed the sack to Satoshi and pointed to a nearby field strewn with rocks. "Collect as many rocks as you can and put them in this sack," Haruto instructed. Confused but obedient, Satoshi spent the next hour gathering rocks and filling the sack. When he had finished, the sack was heavy and his arms were sore. Haruto then said, "Now, carry this sack with you wherever you go." For the next few days, Satoshi carried the heavy sack of rocks everywhere he went. It weighed him down, making even simple tasks difficult and exhausting. His frustration grew, but he persevered, hoping to understand the lesson behind this exercise. Finally, on the fourth day, Satoshi could bear it no longer. "Master Haruto," he cried, "why must I carry this burden? It is too heavy, and I am growing weary." Haruto looked at Satoshi with kind eyes and said, "Your anger is like this sack of rocks. Each time you hold on to your anger, you add to the burden you carry. It weighs you down, making life more difficult and painful. But you have the power to let go." Satoshi stood in silence, contemplating Haruto's words. He realized that just as he could choose to put down the sack, he could also choose to release his anger. It was a profound moment of clarity. Haruto continued, "When you feel anger rising within you, pause and take a deep breath. Acknowledge the anger, but do not hold on to it. Let it pass, like a cloud drifting across the sky. This is the magic cure for anger." With newfound determination, Satoshi began to practice letting go of his anger. Whenever he felt the familiar heat of rage, he remembered the heavy sack of rocks and chose to release his anger instead. Slowly but surely, he found a sense of peace and lightness he had never known.